What's up everybody, Jazzcat here, the other half of Tomcat. Meow, meow. Today we're going to talk about the first 10 pages of your screenplay. First 10 pages of a screenplay. Why are these first 10 pages super duper important? Okay, so you finish your first draft, you hand over your screenplay for someone to read it. They're probably gonna pick it up, they're gonna read through it, and they're probably gonna get to about page 10. And at that point, they're gonna decide, do I wanna keep reading this? Or do I just put this screenplay down and never talk about it again? What you wanna do is make sure your first 10 are the best they can possibly be. If no one wants to read your script, and they put it down after the first 10 pages, your movie doesn't get made. You want to make a movie, don't you? Yeah? That being said, let's get into a few things that will make your first 10 shine. Step 1. Make sure your genre is clear in the first 10 pages. Is this a horror? Is this a comedy? Is this a drama? What's going on here? The first 10 pages need to clearly set up the genre of your film. A great example of this is the movie Get Out. In the first 10 pages, you have a black character walking through a white neighborhood and he gets kidnapped. Right away, it sets up the genre. This is a horror film. Step 2, make sure the tone is clear. So you can't have a tone shift 20 pages into your movie, 30 pages into your movie, whatever it's gonna be. Your first 10 pages needs to set up the tone for the rest of the film. For example, Saving Private Ryan. In the opening sequence of those first 10 pages, we understand that this is a very real World War II film, and the rest of the movie matches that tone. Unlike the first 10 pages of, let's say, Airplane, where we understand that the tone of this movie is really silly. Step 3, you gotta empathize with your character. Some people would argue that step 3 is not important. Some people would argue that it is important. I think it's very important. I'm not saying you need them to be likable, not by any means. I mean, I think that's a rumor. Your character doesn't have to be likable. You just gotta empathize with them, you gotta feel for them. I think a movie that does this really well is Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. When we first meet Jack Sparrow, he's on a sinking ship. Already we're like, oh man, here's a pirate on a sinking ship. And the way he, rides that sinking ship right to the dock like he had planned it all along, we think, wow, this guy's cool. Too bad he lost his ship. He sees the pirates hung. Pirates aren't welcome here. We already feel bad for him. And he's in the middle of stealing a ship. He's doing bad things. He's about to steal a ship, and he stops all that just so he can save Elizabeth, who has now fallen into the water. That causes Jack to be captured by the residents of the island. So Jack risks himself to save a complete stranger. So we feel for him. Step 4, be visual. It's difficult to be visual when you're writing a screenplay. I understand that. It's very hard, especially if you're not used to shooting your own movies. But do your best, be visual. A great example of this is American Beauty. I know this isn't the first 10 pages. In American Beauty, we have Lester Burnham, played by the ever so creepy Kevin Spacey. If you read the script for the scene where Lester Burnham is at his daughter's cheerleading thing, I think it's during a basketball game or something. So Lester Burnham is watching not his daughter, but his daughter's friend, and then he imagines her taking off her shirt and the roses coming out. If you read those pages, all that is very visually laid out. I have an idea in my head of what that looks like before I ever see the film. I can read these pages and think, oh yeah, okay, that's exactly how this is gonna go. This is very visual, I'm imagining it. Make sure in your first 10 pages that the reader can imagine the images that are gonna be shown on the screen later. The more you get the reader's imagination involved, the more likely they stick around and read your whole screenplay. Step 5, you want your entire screenplay to be typo free, but the first 10 are very important. You don't wanna give someone a reason to put down your screenplay. And typos can be that reason. They're looking for a reason to not read this thing. If a reader sees typos on page 60, 70, they're already invested. They're less likely to put down your screenplay. Doesn't mean there should be typos in those pages. Don't get me wrong, there should not be typos there. But they're less likely to put it down if they're already invested. What you're trying to do in your first 10 pages is get your reader invested in your story. You want them to finish it in one sitting, and anything you can do that makes them not put that thing down, the better. Thank you for watching. Please check out our last screenwriting video. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do it. Free country. You can do whatever you want to do here. Till next time, peace.